What is going on, Alabama fans? We're talking some Alabama basketball on today's show. The Crimson Tide, number 2 right now in the country, going up against number 1 Auburn. I believe this is the first time in SEC history that this has ever happened. Number 1 versus number 2, which is just absolutely insane to think about. You got College Game Day in Tuscaloosa for this one, 4 p.m. Eastern Time tip-off. This is going to be an absolutely fun game. Now, right now, Alabama is the underdog, 4.5-point spread going in Auburn's favor. So, I do think this is going to be a really, really good game, really close game. Definitely 2 of the top best teams in the country right now in college basketball. So if you guys want Alabama to beat Auburn, get down there in the comments section and no, actually don't comment. Just go ahead and drop a like on today's video. I got a little bit crossed up there, my bad. But if you guys want Alabama to beat Auburn, don't be the person to jinx it. Go ahead and drop a like on today's show. All right, so right now you got the AP poll versus the coaches poll. Auburn in the AP poll is listed as number 1, but Alabama in the coaches poll, they're listed as number 1. No matter where you put these 2 teams, they're the best 2 teams right now, I believe, in the country. And the AP voters and the coaches out there definitely agree with that statement. When you look over to the SEC standings as well, very, very close regarding the SEC. You got Auburn, Alabama, Florida coming in at number 3, Texas A&M coming in at 4, and then Ole Miss right now up there at number 5. Ole Miss, the only SEC loss that Alabama has right now. So you go in there, you beat a very, very good Auburn team. That puts you in prime spot to be able to win a regular season SEC championship. And, there's a very good chance this thing could shake out to where Alabama and Auburn are playing each other on the last weekend of the season to win the SEC regular season championship. 2 very, very good teams. The SEC has just been an absolute gauntlet this year. Alabama, like their last 7 games, all against ranked teams. So, while Alabama still has a shot and a very good opportunity to win the regular season SEC championship, they have a very, very hard path ahead of them if they want to be able to do that. So let me know who you guys got on today's show. Type C if you think it's the Alabama Crimson Tide, or T if you think it's the Auburn Tigers. It's the pinned comment of today's video. So if that ad comes here on YouTube, that's totally fine. You guys can ignore it. Get down there and spam your C's in the comment section for me right now. Now, some notable Alabama injuries. You had Latrell Wrightsell go out early in the season with an Achilles injury. Derrion Reid, he's been battling some type of lower body injury for what seems to be at least a couple of weeks at this point. And then Houston Mallette, the transfer as well, he's been battling a knee injury. So most likely not going to see these guys. We're filming this video on Thursday, so just going to have to see about Derrion Reid there. But I would expect Houston Mallette to also not be able to go in this game. Now, Mark Sears, obviously, he's the guy everybody knows, right, for the Crimson Tide. He's played in pretty much every single game this year for Alabama, averaging over 17 points. Has been very good for Alabama, but he does also lead the team in turnovers right now. Now, he does play some of the most minutes on the team. He's got the ball in his hands most of the time as well, so obviously that is going to lead to more turnovers, but that's going to be a very big key in this game, is for Alabama not to turn the ball over, because they've definitely struggled with that at times this year. Looking over at Auburn, Johni Broome, he's been one of the best players, if not the best player in the country this season, averaging over 18 points for Auburn. His field goal percentage over 50%. That's absolutely insane. Now, a lot of his shots are coming around the rim, so that does make a little bit more sense there. Also, very, very good rebounding. Alabama also has to be able to rebound at a higher clip than sometimes they have done this season. Now, they've done a little bit better job this year than they did last year. You got some big guys down low like Clifford Amore, who has been really good both on offense and defense, rebounding the balls. But man, Johni Broome is definitely going to be a guy that Alabama is going to have to at least limit to some kind of extent in this game. Now, Nate Oates is 6-4 in his career against Bruce Pearl in the couple of years now that he has been Alabama's head coach. So let me know, who do you guys think is the best head coach? If it's Nate Oates, go ahead and drop a like on today's video. Now we're going to talk about some players to watch here. First, we're going to start off with Jaron Stevenson. Look, he was one of these guys that tested the NBA draft waters last offseason, and he was one of those other players, along with Grant Nelson and Mark Sears, that Alabama was really excited to get back this year, but kind of had a little bit of a, up and down season. Now, he had his best game of the season against Texas just the other day on Tuesday. He dropped 22 points in that game. And it's just really fun when he really does get it going. He was backing guys down at the rim. It's just really fun to watch him play basketball when he really gets it going. If Alabama can get Jaron Stevenson really on board and making an impact in this game, they got a really good chance to do some very good things against Auburn. Player to watch here, number 2, is going to be Mohamoud Diabate, one of my favorite players on this Alabama team. He wins the Hard Hat Award just about every single game they played. And this season, the stats don't really pop off the screen for him. Obviously, 40% from 3 is incredible, over 60% field goal percentage as well. He does a very good job rebounding the ball as well. Mohamoud Diabate is really the guy that gets things going on both ends of the floor for Alabama. He's diving on the floor. He's getting rebounds. He's doing a lot of things for Alabama to be able to be successful. So I really like Mohamoud Diabate, and I do think that he's going to be a very, very pivotal piece for Alabama in this game as well. Player to watch, number 3, you got Aden Holloway, and I think, this is a guy that he transferred from Auburn, so there's going to be a lot of emotions coming into this game for Aden Holloway. And really, since he's been playing in this Alabama system, his play has really just skyrocketed compared to last year when he was with Auburn. His points per game has gone up. Field goal percentage has gone up. 3-point percentage has gone up as well. The only thing that hasn't gone up for him is his assists. And you think about the amount of minutes that he's playing as well. It's really about the same. He's playing about a minute more this year than he was last year. So being able to come over, get in this NATO system, this is a guy that is playing extremely confident right now. And he's just going to continue to, be one of these players. You remember back a couple of weeks ago when Mark Sears was benched, Aden Holloway really had to be the main ball handler for Alabama, and he did a phenomenal job during that, along with some of those other players for Alabama as well. But Aden Holloway definitely going to be a guy to monitor in this game. Last player to watch here for the Crimson Tide, for me, it's going to be Chris Youngblood. I absolutely love watching this guy play. He has been one of my favorite, quote-unquote, under-the-radar players for Alabama this season, because he's not necessarily one of those guys that you always think about. You think about Mark Sears, you think about Grant Nelson, you think about Aden Holloway, LeBaron Philon, the phenomenal freshman for Alabama this season. You think of those guys as main scorers for Alabama and on this team, and definitely rightfully so. But it's almost like every single time Alabama really needs a bucket to get things back on track. Youngblood comes in, he nails a 3, he brings the energy, he does all the little things right for Alabama, and I know Nate Oates definitely appreciates that effort from him. I think his emergence in this offense has really been critical with Latrell Wrightsell going out earlier in the season. So, Chris Youngblood, definitely one of those players, comes off the bench a lot, that really does bring the spark for Alabama on both ends of the floor. Some quick key to victories as well here for the Crimson Tide. I think one of the biggest things, we've talked about it in the show already, you got to be able to control the rebounding on both ends of the floor. You got to get those O boards. You got to get the rebounds on the defensive side of the ball as well. You cannot give Auburn extra opportunities to be able to score in this game. You also got to be able to limit Janai Broome. Like I said, one of the best players in college basketball this season. You're not going to be able to go out there and absolutely shut him down. Now, earlier in the season, he was struggling a little bit. I think he had an ankle injury earlier in the season. But for the most part, he's still been playing some really quality basketball for Alabama. So I don't think you're going to be able to completely shut him down, but you at least have to be able to limit him. I think Clifford Amore is going to be a guy down low that's definitely going to have his work cut out for him. Got to be able to finish when you get to the rim as well. So you got to be able to score in the paint. At times, you see guys like Marcus Sears kind of get shut down when it comes to that. And really what Alabama likes to do, they want to drive the ball to the rim. They want to kick it outside. And if you're able to score in the paint, think of it kind of as football. You got to be able to run the ball to then open up the pass. It's kind of that exact same thing. And then you absolutely have to be able to hit your threes. There have been games this year, and it's been a little bit different from years in the past, where Alabama has been able to win games without hitting the three-pointer this year. I think against Auburn it might be a little bit tough, but they have shown this season that they have been able to win games without hitting the three. But I would love to see Alabama go in there and really be able to be confident at the three-point line and drain some of those threes in this game. It's prediction time here. Go ahead and predict the score for me. Alabama versus Auburn, 1 versus 2. It's a massive game, massive in-state game. Let me know how you guys think it's going to turn out in the comments section right now.